Welcome back to Here for the Dads podcast. It's your boy, Meyer, with episode 5. And today, we got my homie, Sony. What's going on, dog?
What's up, man?
Whew, I've been wanting to sit down with you for a little minute.
Man, it's kind of cool being on this side.
So normally, for ones who don't know, Sony's actually the person who has set up all of this. He's the one who's giving me the confidence to even get behind the mic, get behind the camera. But normally he's on the other side. This is his studio. He's set up everything from the ground up himself. He's come in here, did the audio testing, the mic testing, video testing. He showed me pretty much everything, how to do it. And he's the one who's usually giving me tips and the feedback after the podcast. But for those who don't know, he's also a father, not only an entrepreneur, but a father. So what I really wanted to do was have an episode and some time to sit down with you and have a conversation about entrepreneurship and fatherhood. Those are two things that are already hard to do, and you have decided to take both those things and put them together.
Yeah, man.
That's already not easy.
It's not.
But first, we're already cool and we're close, but there's a lot of things I think we still haven't got a chance to talk about. Fatherhood being one of those things.
Yeah, man.
We've worked together in a business capacity for a long time.
Yep.
Even when it comes to this, and we've known each other for a couple of years now, but we've never sat down and just been like, "Hey, man, how is fatherhood going for you? How is running a family? Being around a family and and having a child and stuff." So let's go back a little bit. Tell me about not only you and your entrepreneurship world, but you growing up, your relationship with your father, all that stuff. Talk to me.
Yeah, man. So me growing up, so kind of different. It's not your typical story due to the fact that I grew up. I'm from New Jersey.
Okay.
Right? I have a Haitian background. Both my parents was born and raised in Haiti. So growing up, Two things I remember vividly is one, my parents wanted me to get a taste of culture from Haiti. So I did live in Haiti for about 2 years. Right? Okay. Born here, but lived in Haiti for 2 years. So one of the best memories I remember, especially with my dad in Haiti, because when I lived there, because I lived with my uncle, but my dad stayed there for like a good 2-3 weeks. And I just remember playing soccer bare feet.
There we go.
Right? Soccer bare feet.
Yeah.
As a kid, right? Because that's the sport. Football.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. My dad made sure I know what the real football is.
Yeah. Right. And then growing up in New Jersey, I mean, it was cool. My dad. He was the one to always pick me up from school. Okay. Right? Made sure I ate my dinner. I had my homework done. He didn't check it. My mom checked it.
Yeah, I got you. So she was more like the enforcer. He was the executor, type thing.
We went to the parks and played soccer, of course. Okay. My dad was very hardworking. I'll say that. He worked 2 jobs.
So what did he do?
He worked for the post office. Okay. Overnight, he was the one that processes the mail.
Okay.
Right? And then during the day, more towards the evening, he actually worked at the movie theater.
Okay, that's different.
Funny story. So on Fridays when my mom works late, the movie theater actually became my daycare. Right? So Dad goes to work.
That's different.
And
when you say it became the daycare, like, you just go sit down and watch movies the whole time, or like
That's it. And then my dad would bring me a little platter of chicken nuggets and some curly fries.
Yeah.
And I'm good.
So you were would you call yourself maybe a movie guru?
Oh.
Could you consider yourself? Have you seen like any and everything that came out?
I think that's what kind of subconsciously got me into the filming industry and everything. Because now when I watch a movie, you're watching the movie for entertainment. I'm literally, I can tell exactly how they did the angle, what kind of lenses, and I think that just came from just always being in the movie.
So you're like breaking it down, trying to think, looking at cinematic views and breakdowns and stuff like that. Man, see, I love the movies. The last movie I really went to go see was the Super Mario Brothers with my oldest son. It was actually pretty good. I'm not gonna lie to you. And they kept it clean cut. It made sense. A lot of the new games he's playing right now, I can tell they kind of took some of that stuff from him. But movies are expensive now, bro. Back in the day, it was not that bad. It was good that you were able to have that. When I was talking to my mom not too long ago about my grandparents, and when they didn't realize that the movies were expensive for just like one movie. And one of the reasons why I say that is because I remember they literally went to the movies, probably started like a matinee or something like that, like 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock, and went to the movies. Yep. They didn't come home till maybe like 6 or 7 that night. And they thought that they could go to one movie, and then when that one was done, just pick another movie and just go to the next one. Then pick another movie and just go to the next one. So illegally, these two old people are jumping around, going to see movie to movie like it's some theater buffet or something like that. So when we told my grandpa, I was like, hey, like, Grandpa, you can't do that. Like, you only pay for one ticket. He said, $30, I paid all this money for all this food and all this stuff to go to one movie. Yeah, he was pretty upset about that. But they had a good time. Nonetheless, he ain't been to the movie since.
I bet. I mean, nowadays, I set up my house where it's my own movie theater. Especially after COVID.
Yeah, boy, what?
When the movie theater shut down, I was like, all right, I got to figure out how to bring
man, get you a little projector, some popcorn and stuff. It. Now being a dad of 4 kids, ain't no way in the world. Like, it makes more sense to me now why my mom and dad wasn't going to take all of us to the movies. Because you think about going to get food and all that stuff there. Man, you might as well get you a big old purse and just start stuffing snacks. Because ain't no way in the world I'm paying for all that.
The movie theater with the whole family was like going to an amusement park.
Yeah, I'm not doing that. But let's talk about New Jersey. Why New Jersey? Like, is there a thick or a rich Haitian culture there or a group of people there?
So I would say yes, due to the fact that and don't quote me on this, but normally you gotta think about it. New York is right next to New Jersey.
True.
Right? And where do all the immigrants normally come in through?
Straight up north, right into New York.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
So the biggest populations of like Haitians or anybody that came from like overseas is either New York or Florida.
Okay, I got you.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
And then as years pass on, people kind of slither into New Jersey and things like that. Like northern New Jersey, like you'll find a Haitian restaurant like every
mile. I know that food be good too. So good. My goodness.
So good. You ever had fried goat?
No, I've had goat, but I don't think I've ever had it fried though. I don't think.
Man.
It be bussin'.
Bussin'.
So tell me more about your dad. What's your dad's name?
So I'm a junior, so he's so.
Hey man, shout out to my juniors, dog.
So now a lot of people are like, oh, you were named after like an entertainment company. So really, from a Creole standpoint, it's Sony.
Sony.
Right?
Oh, because I saw Sony. I was like, oh, he probably got Sony cameras in here and stuff too.
Yeah. But like Americanized, just say.
Yeah, just say Sony. That's what we're used to seeing.
Yeah, so I'm a junior. His name is Sony. They call him Big Sony.
Okay.
And I'm Little Sony.
There we go.
But yeah, man, my dad probably one of the hardest working person I know. And what's shocking is this year he's finally completely retired.
What? Do you think that's gonna be easy or hard for him?
It's gonna be hard.
Yeah.
Due to the fact that he's used to doing. And he's also not used to sleeping during the normal time that people sleep.
Oh, yeah. Because
the past 20-something years, he worked overnight.
Jeez.
So during the day, I think you...
I work a lot of night shifts, so I definitely understand. I haven't been doing it as long as he has, but I could only imagine what it's going to turn into now is like, what else he gonna do at night? Watch Jeopardy? Like, I don't know what else he gonna do.
Like, even like he'll wake up at a specific, like if he's on vacation, he'll wake up at a specific time during the middle of the night, which is normally his lunchtime. And we're like what's happening?
Like, watch him get. I wonder if he still gets up and go get a snack though. I would.
Yeah. There's been time when he'll come down from New Jersey to our house in Virginia, and let's say I come home from a late wedding. Everybody's knocked out. He's sleep watching soccer. He's not asleep. He's up watching soccer.
Now my dad, that's always him. Like no matter what time of day it is, he'll watch a soccer game. Growing up, I didn't play soccer. I wish I would have got a chance to do it, but it just seemed. I guess being a kid just seemed so boring. Like it was just a lot of.
I just saw running
like the whole time, and then every once in a while you hear my dad like yell, probably say a couple bad words, and
and it's crazy how our parents say go because like the whole house shakes.
Yeah.
Bro, the whole house shakes. I'm like, what?
Yeah, you just see like Guinness stout beers or Heineken just like shaking all over the place and everybody's yelling and screaming and stuff. Yeah, watching. I'm pretty sure Haitian dads are probably the same as some of West African dads. Just watching them watch a soccer game is just like amazing. That's like the most energy.
It can be recorded too.
Oh, dog, yeah. They'll still act the same. Like you know who won the game, but like that. So tell me, I know we talk a lot about what the traditional father looks like in maybe like a Western African culture. We talk about Nigerian dads. You see jokes about them on Instagram and stuff now, like meme videos. So tell me, what is maybe a more traditional or a natural Haitian father? Like, what is the fatherhood teaching or whatever? What does that look like?
Number one is hardworking. Like there's a Haitian dad, especially from the way I've grown up, the way I see all my uncles. Mm-hmm. Is hardworking to the point where the most memories you know of them, especially like my uncles, is they're always sleeping during the day because they're always working hard.
Wow.
Right? And whenever they have time off, it's like they're just working hard. Even at a party, they'll bring their sunglasses at a certain time of the party, their sunglasses on because they want to sleep.
Oh, and it's not because they're tired. Yeah, just because they know they're gonna have to go to work.
That's after that. I mean, that's the biggest thing is hardworking, and they don't play when it comes to like education, right? Mm-hmm. They might not know how to help you do your homework, but they're gonna make sure
you gonna get it done.
You're gonna get it done.
Now, right? With working that much, did that impede on your relationship with your father and the time that you got to spend with him?
So, what was crazy about how his work ethic was, when I'm in school, he sleep.
Okay.
And when I'm out of school, he picks me up, all that stuff, make sure I eat all this stuff. He's present. And then come 7, 8 o'clock, which is time to like turn it down and get ready to bed, he's getting ready to go back to work.
That, when you think about that now, like us being adults and understanding how much energy that had to take, like every single day, to just know that he had to get some type of sleep in while you were gone. And then as soon as you're out, he's like, okay, I got to spend time with my son. I got to do this. I got to make sure he gets that done. And then he doesn't get much downtime before he's got to go back to work and do that same thing all over again. I think that really shows how important family is to him and to you all, like, period.
Yeah, I mean, that's how I think that's where I get it from. I mean, we've been talking the past couple of days. I just got back from DC, and the first thing I did, I didn't even take out any of the camera stuff. Me and my wife, we finished up the playroom.
Yeah, I seen that. I seen a picture of that. Yeah. Can you tell the audience a little bit about the playroom? For those that know, this is probably the biggest investment, the coolest thing I've ever seen.
I mean, I got it from you, bro.
I know. I'm just saying, like, you got it done before I did, though. So I'm like looking at it, I'm like, this is what my playroom is supposed to look like. That is like top tier to have a playroom in the crib.
I mean, so my daughter had a playroom that was in, like, the house is like a 1-story rancher.
Okay.
And there's like 2 living rooms. So we took the second living room where her playroom was, we transitioned that into the garage. Smart. So first thing we did, I got turf. I put turf down. Right. I painted the walls, everything, one neutral color, and then we just transitioned her toys. I took because my office is gonna go into that living room space.
Yeah.
Because we're gonna make another bedroom.
I don't have an office yet. I need one though.
Yeah.
You gotta have that.
Yeah, man. I mean, Yeah, man cave, office, something.
For the dads who have not taken the next step. And think about it. You don't have to have the biggest house or anything like that. When I'm talking about the next step, I'm talking about the varsity level step is to get a playroom. Now, you don't have to go buy another house to go get another room somewhere. If you got a garage, go get all that old junky stuff out of there that y'all probably not using, the old boxes and stuff that hasn't been opened up. Figure out another place to put them. Give some stuff away. Even if you got to break the garage in half, it is a whole lot easier to have the toys in the playroom than to be stepping on them at night and having to clean up. My back is bad from just picking up like toys all the time. And to just be able to send my kids sometimes away from the TV, away from the screens, into a designated area where they can go play, chill, and they can start learning to organize things too. Like put their toys exactly where they're supposed to go. The cars go here and stuff like that.
They're actually doing that right now?
Well, they're trying. They're starting. At least the oldest, Isaiah is. He's organizing. He knows where all the cars and stuff goes. When he tries to say like, "Daddy, I don't know what to do with this," he just go in there and throw stuff. No, we're not doing that. And Avery, he knows what to do and how to do it. It's just if he feels like doing it or not. That's when he does it.
Oh, you're gonna have to come through the crib because Valerie.
Val, like, no, I'm good.
Nah, she good.
So, how old is Val?
Valerie, she's 3.
Tell me about Val.
I mean, that's my princess, bro. She's a bundle of joy. She's brilliant. She's just like her mom, where like what she wants, she gonna figure out how to get it. Right,
that's that girl dad stuff too. You gonna make sure you get it for her, brother.
Yeah, and I mean, I know y'all know we had the scare in December. We were in the hospital with her for a whole month. That was crazy. But I mean, I think that made me realize how much of a caring dad I was, because like, I was literally working in the hospital. I was editing. I was, everything. Told my wife, hey, go home, sleep, whatever. But like, and when she came out and we had to like help her get used to like walking and all that stuff. I mean, I think now she's like Valerie 2.0. Like she is stuck to my hip.
Really?
Yeah.
And now do you think she's been closer to you than mom now?
She's still close to mom, but she's even more close to me because I think like I had to like, she's older and I had to kind of reteach her how to walk and stuff. And like that forged another level of bond.
Wow.
Right? So I think that's another thing when it comes to parenting. Our children get attached to us from how much we cared for them.
Yeah, I can see that.
So, but yeah, now she loves soccer.
Really?
Yeah.
What is? I feel like my kids have just started falling in love with soccer and stuff now too. I wonder what it is.
So the YMCA has this program where every weekend they like introduce the kids to like a new sport.
Yep, we did that. We did that.
I was like, all right, she's gonna get the basketball. Nah, she wasn't with it.
She went straight to the soccer? I know Grandpa probably loved that.
Man, they got her soccer ball and everything.
There we go.
She just kicking that thing, running straight in a straight line, everything.
See, I can help out as much as I can with soccer for probably like up to like level 2. Like once they get to like the ages of like 7 and 8 and they actually start doing rules, I have no clue what's going on. I am not going to lie to you. All I know is a bunch of running back and forth and you kick the ball into the goal. Like I know there's 11 players or something like that, but if you start talking to me about like actual penalties, time, breakdown of quarters or halves or whatever, I think I probably got to do a better job at understanding exactly like what you do in soccer. My dad would probably be pretty upset to hear that. But, I mean, if I go to a game, it would probably be pretty cool. I don't know. But there was something you just said about, like, spending time with your kids and, like, how much you care for them getting closer to you. I've actually had a very similar situation with Avery, our 2-year-old. There was a point in time where he would have a fever, and if the fever increased to, I don't know, 103 at a very fast pace, he would have a febrile seizure. And I'm gonna have a whole nother a whole nother episode about different medical conditions that maybe young kids have, or things that just aren't talked about a lot. And I would love to have a couple dads out here just to have those conversations. And I'm glad we're having it now. But during that point in time, I have 3 other kids, so my wife was either at home with Azai by himself or just taking care of the other kids while I was at the hospital with Avery. And at first it was a little bit different for me because, I'm not usually the one handling all the medical care and having all the social security cards and numbers memorized and birth dates. I don't even really do dates like that. But I was the one going to the hospital with him and spending that time. And he actually had, within maybe 2 to 3 months, like 2 or 3 febrile seizures. And it was just me and him. Like, as soon as he would come back to, I'll be the first face that he sees, and we'll watch the tablet as they come in and do different checks and stuff with him. And I haven't realized it until now, because you just said that. He's been attached to my hip. Everything is daddy, daddy, daddy. He wants to hang out with me. And when he wakes up in the morning, he wants to come on my side of the bed, and it makes so much more sense now. And I guess before, that is when, if they're breastfeeding or always with mom, that's who they're going to be attached to. Yeah. So that definitely makes sense, man. And I appreciate you for even bringing that up, because I was like, Dad, how did he switch over to daddy, daddy, daddy so fast?
Yeah. I think that there's going to come a point of, and I think this is why it's pivotal to be in your child's life, because it's not that they lost love for mom, but it's like they tap into like this new segment in their brain, like, oh, that is dope.
There we go. Right? I like daddy's dope. I like that. Yeah.
Because, and it's even funny, like the other day I was laughing. I forgot what Val did. It had, so when it came to like, she was hungry, she went to mom, right? And then it was like an hour later, her little bubble machine broke. She went straight to me. Right? And so it's like her brain now also computes who to go to for what.
She starts calculating. She's like, daddy fixes things.
Yes.
So I'm sad. This is broke. That equals daddy. Like, I'm going to go to daddy for this.
Yep.
Oh, that's smooth. I like that. Kids are smart, man. Kids are smart. I like that, thinking daddy's dope. I'm going to put that on a t-shirt or something like that. I know I had something like that.
Yeah.
So let's go into a little bit about what you do. So how long have you been an entrepreneur and in this space of media and just peer? Like, how long have you been an entrepreneur?
So I've been an entrepreneur probably in total, probably going on like 5 years.
Okay.
Right? So I currently own 2 companies. We have VBS Media Creations, where we do photography, videography, weddings, corporate events, you name it. And then we launched the second company. We're going on officially a little bit over a month, which is VBS the Studio. We're trading right now.
Okay.
People can do photography, videography from a standpoint of interviews and things like that. And then you got also video and audio podcasting like we're doing right now. I mean, I've always had a niche for anything that had to do with creating content, right? I think that it's important how things can be captured, right? Presentation is everything, right?
Yeah.
Like for example, in here, the specific lighting for certain effects. Like even you have a specialized lighting because you're the host, so right. So I gotta make sure that you have a little.
Appreciate it. Yeah, for Zal. Right? Yeah, I got
it. The sound, the room is soundproof, right? There's all these things that like I love to learn about and then help other people produce the right content, right? So people don't overlook what the actual message is.
Yeah.
Right? When I heard that you had a podcast, I was like, nah, I especially with listening to your content.
Yeah.
But the viewers, you have to gain their attention first.
Absolutely.
Right. So I was like, I gotta bring mine into the studio and make sure we grab people's attention.
Yeah.
So then they can listen to what you're saying.
I appreciate that.
Right. But no, I love this. Been doing this. The last step, I think, the last phase of a company that we want to roll out, something nonprofit that teaches like the youth about this stuff, because everything you see here, I don't have any degree, not one.
There we go.
Man-made. What did I call it when we YouTube University?
There we go.
Right. I mean, there's so much knowledge out there.
It is, and that's what makes me happy for our kids, because we actually live in an information age where they can pretty much go in and do anything. I was in DC a couple years back, and I did, I wouldn't call it motivational speaking, but I was just speaking to a couple different grades in high school. I forget the name of the school, but we had a conversation about, like, you guys have access to so much. And of course you have to be smart about what you do, but if you just put anything into Google, you can figure it out. You want a scholarship for school?
Oh.
Scholarships for this age, or scholarship to this place, scholarship for this race, scholarship about, I play this or whatever, scholarship for violinist, excuse me. Like, you can pretty much figure anything out. And my son is now starting to get that when he's on like YouTube Kids and he just wants to watch monkey videos. He can go on voice command. He can't necessarily write things out yet, but he could just get on there and find pretty much anything he wants to. Now, we will have another conversation about screen time, the internet, Google, YouTube, and all that other stuff, because that's a whole nother thing. I'm actually going to be reading a book about it with my wife here soon. So after I finish that book, we'll definitely have that conversation.
Awesome. You just reminded me something, how they know about the voice command now. Valerie on the remote.
She done got the voice command down already?
Paw Patrol. Right.
Oh yeah, that's game over.
Or she'll go to I like Alexa, so we got the home pods.
I got you.
So she'll go, Siri, play Gracie's Corner.
Oh boy, Gracie's Corner. I could rock with Gracie. Now, Baby Shark was one thing, but Gracie's Corner, dog,
I could actually get both.
You know what I'm saying? Do a little But let's get see me and you go get started. Yes. But let's get back to entrepreneur. How has you being an entrepreneur now impacted your life as a father? Has it been positive, negative, or flexible? Talk to me.
I think it is a big learning experience due to the fact that you have to learn how to manage a calendar, which I thank my wife for, because there's so many moving pieces and can really get lost in certain subjects of the day if you don't stay in track with the calendar.
Boy, the calendars are important.
And we share a calendar.
You
right?
have to.
You have to share a calendar. Anybody, especially like the CFO of this company is also like our best friends in life.
Okay, good.
And we are always watching each other's kids. Anytime someone's involved with even watching your kids, you need to have some type of shared calendar, because it just makes life flows better.
Yeah.
Because there's so many things. You got doctor's appointments.
Yes.
You got who's gonna drop this off.
Yep. Field trips.
Oh, daddy's gone for 2 days.
Yes.
So what do mommy need to prepare to do? Or my wife's a caseworker for a foster agency. So
okay, I didn't know that.
Yeah, so there's times where like she'll put in our calendar like, hey, I'm on call. So I need to know like, hey, okay, if I have something to do, I need to hit up Desiree, our family friend, or Sarah, and be like, hey, I need help because I got this client. Yeah. Right? Because Sam is not available because she got
you got to be prepared for her to just get pulled away.
That's it, right?
Having a family and a calendar is probably one of the most important things that got added into my life that I didn't know I needed. Like, of course, you got the calendar for work and stuff, but you can kind of get away with being in a relationship. You can just call your wife and be like, "Hey, babe, this came up," or "Don't forget I got so and so," and she's gonna go back and look into a text. But when you have a family and you start adding kids onto that equation, you start adding stuff on there that you could easily forget because, like you said, those appointments, the dentist appointments, you got your own appointments you got to juggle, and you talking about the field trips. And one thing you don't want to forget is something that your child had to do and then you have to reschedule, or something that they remembered and you forgot. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you don't want to do that. And then you got to put in play dates too. Yeah. Don't forget about the play dates.
Yeah, man. All of those stuff, right? Yeah. I mean, I think one of the benefits of being an entrepreneur is before I entered fatherhood, because when you're an entrepreneur, you have to know how to schedule your calendar, mm-hmm. right? So I kind of, like, my whole life I managed like a business.
Okay.
Right? So because my family is important to me, and my business is important to me. My business is what feeds my family. Mm. So you have to, like Jay-Z said, this is my quote that I love.
Talk to me.
I'm not a businessman. I'm a
businessman. Oh, yeah. Right? Yeah, absolutely.
And when he said that, when I first heard that, mm-hmm. I had to repeat that. And like, no, you're whole from the head up down. Your business, mm-hmm. right? So everything you do, every move you make, you got to make it like you're the business, right? Yeah. Especially being, call it what it is, an African-American dad, mm-hmm. you have to stay on top of things probably 5 steps ahead.
Yeah.
Right? Because someone's always waiting for you to trip.
Yeah.
Right? Mm-hmm. Either you're not handling your household stuff.
Yeah.
You're not conducting business properly.
Yeah.
All of that, right? And I don't got time to do any talking anymore. So I'm now 10 steps ahead of people. Right? I cover my tracks, I do what I gotta do, and I'm out. Right? But now that's a good question. It keeps me busy. But at the end of the day, when I rest, I know I had a good full day. I handled dad stuff, husband stuff.
You deserve the rest at that point. So, like, growing up, seeing your dad work so hard and you kind of taking on that characteristic and that trait of just hard work, what is something that you're doing right now as an entrepreneur that you would like for your daughter to take on or to, like, remember? Her dad, like seeing her dad do.
I want her to remember the hard work, but one of the things that, like, I'm doing so I don't have to continue doing for a long time, because my dad, he worked hard, mm-hmm. to the, like, when he retires, that's the last day he works hard.
Gotcha.
Right? Mm-hmm. When I don't want to have to enjoy life when I retire.
Gotcha.
Right?
Yeah.
So, like, eventually, a lot of the things I'm doing will be on autopilot, where you have people working with you. I don't like to say for me.
No, I got you.
Because I used to manage stuff. Like, I look at it partnering with people, right? But have things in autopilot where I could step aside, mm-hmm. and still enjoy life with my family. Now, how I want my daughter to beat me one step up is she just has everything on autopilot from the jump.
From the jump. And are you saying that you setting that up for her, or her understanding how to set that up for herself?
Either or. Like, so, like, let's say she comes to me like, Daddy, I don't want to do anything with this. Mm-hmm. All right, cool. Let's just put people in the spot that knows how to do it.
Yeah.
But it just stays on autopilot and go do what you want to do.
Absolutely. Right? And I feel like financial literacy and just the entrepreneurial world, like, there's so much room and knowledge that I don't think that I got growing up. I'm glad that you you're in that, like you understand that, and you have to do that every single day, and you pouring that now into your child, like that's extremely important, especially for the Black community. I think that's something that I don't want to say that we failed at, but I don't think it was spread out. Like it wasn't. We didn't get that in school, and our parents may have had it or didn't get that themselves. So this is a good stepping stone.
Like, like I don't blame my parents for anything, but there was so much that I think that should have been taught either in school or should have been exposed somehow, because we live in like working a job, even making $100K.
Yeah,
you still won't be able to live a comfortable life.
Right.
Right. Even the fact that like when our parents grew up or our grandparents grew up, the spouses didn't even have to work.
Yeah.
Right. Now, even though you got a good job, the spouse still got to work.
Yeah. It's getting real out here.
Right.
It's real out here. Yeah.
Like what eggs? Crazy.
Bro, I was in the grocery store. So for those who don't know, I just got my wisdom teeth taken out. So if I'm talking weird, that's the only reason why. But I went to get my wisdom teeth taken out on Tuesday, and I went to the store same day to go start getting like some malleable foods, stuff a little bit softer, some yogurts and what else did I get? I don't know. Got some yogurts, got some vanilla pudding, stuff that I don't normally eat. I usually always eating steak and fried fish and stuff that I probably really don't need.
Fried fish.
Yeah, ain't nothing like some fried fish, dog. But I want to go get something a little bit softer. And as I'm grabbing, like, I'm looking at the Jell-O. It's a 4-pack of Jell-O that's like almost $5-6. And I'm like, you could buy I remember we used to buy a little box for like 50 cents to $1. And I feel so old now. I remember my mom used to talk about 5-cent, 10-cent pickles and stuff like that. I'm like, Mom, that's old people talk. But now we go into the grocery store and inflation or whatever you want, whatever is going on, everything's expensive. And if we don't know how to control the money in our pocket and understand what financial literacy looks like and understand and control our income and teach that to our kids, it could be pretty ugly. It can get pretty ugly in the future.
Very ugly. I mean, I just think that whatever you can do, and by the way, y'all, I'm actually controlling the cameras.
You too smooth with it too. You just boom, boom, boom. Yeah. Too smooth with it.
I had to say because it just got stuck on the iPad.
Oh, that's all good.
But I have to say, like, I think making sure kids understand that they technically don't need to work for someone. Like, figure it out. Like, I mean, you don't even have to go to school and rack up a whole bunch of debt.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. Like, just figure it out. Figure out what you want to do. Is there true profit in it?
Mm-hmm.
Right? See if there's someone you can learn from.
Yeah.
If there's not, shoot, learn from YouTube.
Yeah, man.
Right.
Learn from somebody, get a mentor.
Yeah.
Like, that's gonna be one of the biggest things that I'm gonna be making sure my son has growing up. Like I had, especially if he doesn't play sports. I think when you play sports, you naturally kind of get a mentor because the coaches, I'm kind of like, if they take you in or they're good like that, they get close to you. But I don't know if I grew up with somebody that I specifically called my mentor. If my son, even if he does or doesn't play a sport, I'm going to make sure that he has one, even if it's, a close friend or not a close friend, somebody that I trust.
That's it. And you know what's cool? You don't have the ego to let another man coach your son, because that's another thing. Like, I don't know everything.
Yeah. And we have to let that ego down to be able to say that. Yeah.
Because then once we let that ego down, that opens a horizon for them.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right? So I don't have, like, if my daughter want to learn how to play tennis, I don't know how to play tennis. Right?
You just have to keep it real.
Right? If she wants to learn, I was going to say softball, but my wife knows how to play softball. Whatever I don't know how to do.
Right. You got to be comfortable.
I'll find it for her.
Yeah. Yeah. You got to be comfortable. enough to like let your guard, not your guard down, but your pride or your ego, whatever down, and go find out what's best for her. Like, what she can get.
You think back in the days, a lot of things that parents would say no to was due to pride?
Yeah. I think some of the no could have been due to time or money, but I think sometimes it could be a little bit due to pride.
Yeah.
Because it's something that they couldn't do, and they either try to figure it out for themselves, or they just rather you go do something else. And a little bit of it could have been trust too, because you have to let that guard down a little bit to go find out information. They couldn't just always go on Google or whatever. So like, let's say, like, hey, daddy, like I saw this like computer programming thing and I think it's cool. Like, I don't know anything about it. Like, I really want to try it out. I want to learn more about it. They didn't really grow up with the computers the same way we did.
Right.
And the first thought might come in their head is like, okay, do I have the dollars to teach you myself? Second thing might come in the head, okay, if I send you somewhere, do I have the money to possibly pay for that? And then the other thing is, who else do I know? And if I don't know anybody else, I have to go find it out for myself.
Yeah.
So it's going to take a lot of work. And that's where, I mean, both of us are at now with kind of like learning this new word and trying to make sure our kids have whatever it is that they need. Sometimes we're going to have to let that pride down a little bit and go figure it out who has the information.
Yeah.
So
that's it.
Yeah, that's going to be extremely important. So I have a question for you.
Yeah.
Can you name something that maybe you failed at, or a big lesson learned either in life or in the entrepreneur role that you're in, that you don't want your daughter to have to learn?
Maybe the biggest thing is I think it's self-care. And maybe we could figure out a topic about it, but one thing that I feel like a lot of folks that they have the ability to take on a lot, but sometimes they don't know how to manage it at first, which overloads them. Because one point of life, I was in a dark place, right? And we'll just leave it at that. But I think that your mental health and making sure that you make that a priority, right? Because we see all these entrepreneurs, because we got to remember musicians and all that. Those are entrepreneurs that make a lot of money, but then you hear on the news they take their life, right? They leave their family behind for good, right? There's no finding you now. You're gone, right? And it's because they forgot how to take care of themselves, right? You might see like even though like this is a passion of mine, but it's still work, right? So now you got to find a separation of how do I find something else that's more soothing and calming, so you're not doing this thing constant that runs you ragged. Right? So I want to make sure my daughter puts herself in a position where she has her woosah time. Right? That's key. Right? There's studies about it. I've been reading books about it and all that. And I think that's one thing that we shouldn't neglect. And that's another thing in the Black community. We think mental health and all this stuff, or whatever may be the case, is it real? You probably heard this.
They just like, go to church.
Go to church.
Go to church.
That's it.
Go pray.
No,
and not saying that's bad. You still do those things, but it doesn't mean you can't talk to somebody.
That's it.
It does not mean you cannot talk to somebody.
And that's talking. Like, one of the biggest things we tell Val, we're teaching her that she could come to us and talk to us about anything.
That's important.
And worst comes to worst, she could go to her aunties, right? Talk. There's so many. We've been suppressed by thinking, especially men, that we can't talk. We can't express our feelings.
Absolutely.
And then because people think that, there's so many forms of like mental health stuff, and this is a whole nother topic. Like, you wonder why so many people that look like us are in jail. Their outlet became negative because they couldn't talk about what was really going on.
Absolutely. And that's one of the biggest, I wouldn't say the biggest reason why I want to do this, but I can say now that this podcast has become therapy to me, to be honest. Like being able to sit across from another man and especially speak about something like fatherhood or anything else we have a conversation about. Back on episode 3, when I was talking to Dan, after a little bit offline, we had another conversation about just like life, like how has things been? And he was just thanking me for like, hey man, I'm so happy you started talking about this, because we've had so many friends, especially even being, in high school, college, or being on a team where you may have a little bit more of that outlet, but the things change. So like you go to school, you play football with somebody, then you graduate and you become a father and a husband, and all of a sudden the location where you used to speak in that locker room and speak to a man one-on-one has completely like disappeared. Gone. You no longer have that locker room. And because you don't have that locker room, it's like when you do speak to somebody, one of the homies, just like, hey, what's going on, bro? What's happening, man? How's work? Boom, boom, whoop-de-wop, have a beer, and you dip out. It's no conversations about, emotions or like, hey, I heard that your wife just had this thing go on. Like, how is she doing? Or, hey, I heard that, your son, broke his leg. How are you dealing with that? How are y'all dealing with that? Or, they go to this new school or whatever. You don't really get into the details anymore because I feel like we've kind of lost the locker room. And I'm happy to now build a venue along with you where we can kind of bring that locker room back until it gets a little bit more normal for us to really have a conversation. Like, we got to get out of this stigma that, we got to be big macho and that we're not allowed to have problems too.
You nailed it.
Man, I don't know. I feel like I was on a soapbox. Was I on a soapbox a little bit? I wasn't on my soapbox, right?
No,
I was just keeping it real, right?
Keeping it real. And I think that's what's needed.
Yeah.
And this lets other folks know that, like, just keep it real and learn how to. You can seek. There's people all around you that you can chat with. Sometimes we just automatically think that nobody wants to talk. You got your church. You might have someone at your job that is open to chatting.
Yeah.
Right? Just talk, and if the conversation goes somewhere, cool. If it doesn't, it doesn't. But I like that you've created this environment for men to talk and allow other folks to know that they're not alone.
Yeah.
Right.
I think even before here, you got to think about, where do you learn like fatherhood from? Like, let's say you don't have maybe a father or a father figure in your life. And I revert back to TV a little bit. So like, when I say revert back to TV, there were TV dads. And I watched Bill Cosby a lot. There was Uncle Phil. Who was maybe your favorite TV dad growing up?
Had to be Uncle Phil.
Had to be Uncle Phil. Why Uncle Phil?
I mean, he just reminded me of like the uncles I had. You see something out of pocket, you get that smack behind your head.
Yep.
Yeah, man. But he just also the fact that I think that to show anybody can be a dad to anybody. Right?
That's so good. Yeah.
Because let's look back. Will wasn't even his, like, I think the term is biological nephew.
Yeah, I guess that they weren't technically blood, right?
It was Aunt Viv's.
That's so
nephew,
true. That's so true.
Took him in, paid for his school, right? Helped him if he needed a job. Or like people, something that it shows. There's people that actually did that.
Yeah.
Right. So you gotta, like, that's what I look at. To this day, I still watch Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
The old school?
The old school.
Yeah.
What you think about the new school?
I haven't actually watched it. I'm a big person where it's like, if you remake something, I don't want you to mess up the image for me. Now, granted, like some of the Disney remakes, like I'm completely fine with. Some people get all upset about it. You said Lion King was good.
Fire.
Some people rag on that. I thought Lion King was good. I enjoy some of the remakes because I'm looking at the artistic view of the reason why they're doing it, how they're doing it. Like, I'm really stoked to go see Little Mermaid when that does come out. But when you try to like remake like TV shows and stuff like that, it kind of bothers me some because you get stuck with the characters.
Exactly.
And when you try to like redo that, it's kind of a lot of people I feel like don't do that right.
The only thing is, I've actually watched the first season.
Mm-hmm.
You really sit and think about it, how they monetize whatever that word is. The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air from that they have now versus back then. It's actually lined up. Right?
Oh, they do it. So is it like a today's time?
Yeah.
Okay. Maybe I'll check it out.
Right. So I was like, all right, cool. And then they got the new season. When I get some time, I'm gonna rock into the new season. I just need a day. Okay. I'll just watch the whole season. But it's a good show. But no, Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, Uncle Phil. I mean, rest in peace.
Yeah.
But he was that dude. I mean, and that was a prime example that anybody can be a dad. I mean, even like me and Sam, we're registered foster parents, right? So any day now, which is why we had to transition the playroom to the garage, office to the living room, because where the office was, you could easily fit two bunk beds.
Yep.
Right.
Just being prepared.
I think that like us, like, and there's so many other people out there. There's kids that need us.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right, because they're the future. They're the ones that's going to keep this going.
Yeah,
they're gonna make the environment better, society better. But we have to allow them to be in an environment to tap into that mental space to do better.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right? That's the main reason why I created the studio. And I mean, this studio is not a high dollar studio where like it's here to make profit. It's here to let creators be in a new space to create in a way that they can never create before. And that's the same concept I have when it comes to fatherhood.
Absolutely.
Giving them a space to create. Right? And helping our kids create is just allowing them to unlock new parts of their brain.
Absolutely. That's where you get to learn them. That's exactly where you get to learn who your child is and who they grow into. And being comfortable with sharing some of your challenges sometimes. You may have to, say it in a way that is child friendly or whatever, but opening up. I think if my father would have opened up a little bit more, not just specifically about his challenges, but about what he was doing, why he was doing it, when he was doing it, I think that would have been extremely important. But I wrote down a few questions. I know we're kind of keeping this in closing a little bit, but I wrote down a few questions I wanted to make sure that I asked you before heading out here. Let's see. All right, so tell me maybe one of the most influential people in your life right now that have impacted who you are as a father, other than your father?
I would say my best friend, CFO Desiree Sterling. She's helped me. So Desiree is like a homie.
Okay.
Right? I mean, same-sex marriage. I look at her like brother, sister, and she saw like there was an old me that was trying to figure out some stuff.
Yeah.
And then she saw something clicked about me, and then helped me run with a dream.
Hey man,
right?
That's awesome.
And now, man, if you said a year ago, if all of this would be possible. A thing, I didn't even have the word studio in my brain.
Wow.
Right? So, like, I mean, I just think that God put people in your life for a reason, either for a season or lifetime, whatever may be the case, but he put them there for a reason. That was one person.
Awesome. All right, so let's see. Question number 2. Let's see. I wrote a lot down because I knew we could talk for a while.
I bet.
Let's do this
all day.
If you had to write a book about fatherhood, what would you name it? And what would it be about?
If I had to write a book about fatherhood, what would it be about?
And the name of it?
I would call it Speak. I think growing up, I was taught, and we were all taught, that certain things you just don't talk about.
That's so true. Yeah.
So the book, I would call it Speak, because it would tell a story of why we just need to speak up more.
Yeah.
Right? And it just allows people to understand that your voice matters. Right? Doesn't matter who you are, background, race, religion, speak. Right? So,
that's good. All right, last question. What's one question you wish I'd ask you, and how would you have answered it?
One question. That's a good question.
Yeah, I wrote down. I was like, "Ooh, that's spicy. That's good." Where did my parenting style come from?
I would say my parenting style is a mixture. It's a little bit of my dad. It's a little bit of just me, of what I know that I don't want. So I just make sure I don't reflect it to other folks. And it's also a hybrid of just the people around me, right? Like there's so many folks that like you can learn from anybody.
Yeah.
Right. So I think it's good, at least for me, to allow your parenting box to always be open and be open to evolving with parenting.
Yeah. And how would that help? Like when you say open, you're saying so it could forever change, so it can also, I definitely understand. I got you.
You can't parent you have four kids.
And every child has to be parented different. So I can't treat I can't treat the oldest the way I would treat the youngest. What type of style would you call your parenting? If they have, I know they have names like helicopter parenting, where you're like always hovering, you're making them creative. What would you call your style?
Don't tell Sam I said that's it.
Keep it real.
Oh man, we on a podcast. But
so she'll probably hear it. Yeah. What would you call it?
I would call mine, I would just call it hybrid.
Okay.
Right? It's mixture.
Okay.
It's kind of like the dad van outside. It's a hybrid.
It's a hybrid.
You got a little gas, old school, right? That's how a car was created, to run on gas.
Okay, a little
old
school.
Now you got a battery.
Hey man, we could just switch it over.
New school.
There we go.
Right, so
that's good.
Yeah, bro.
Man, this was amazing. I really do appreciate you taking the time to sit down with me today.
Yeah, man, this is dope.
Yeah, I already can't wait to hear this again, bro.
Yeah, man, this is good being on this angle. I'm never normally the one on the other side of the lens.
Promise me you'll come back. We'll do it again.
Of course.
All right, smooth. Thank you.